Chapter 23. Mixed Method Studies. Introduction. While quantitative and qualitative research methods have unique strengths, both research methods are required to analyze some research problems. In these cases, a mixed methods approach is the best answer because it involves both quantitative and qualitative methods in a single study. The use of mixed methods can help researchers capitalize on the strengths of quantitative and qualitative methods, while mitigating the weaknesses of both methods. What is mixed methods research? Mixed methods research involves the use of both quantitative and qualitative methods in a single study. The results of these separate methods are combined to present a more complete picture of the phenomenon under study than either method could produce on its own. In mixed methods research, the respective strengths of qualitative and quantitative methods are seen as compensating for the respective weaknesses of each method. For some, the essential feature is that mixed methods research combines methods of data collection and analysis from both quantitative and qualitative traditions. For others, this description is not specific enough. They insist that other features, particularly of qualitative methods, be present. These include developing a holistic picture and analysis of the phenomenon being studied with an emphasis on thick rather than selective description. 2. Why do mixed methods research? It can help to clarify and explain relationships found to exist between variables. The question is raised as to why such a relationship exists. Mixed methods research allows researchers to explore relationships between variables in depth. In this situation, qualitative methods may be used to identify the important variables in an area of interest. The variables can then be correlated with other variables. Mixed method studies can help to confirm or cross-validate relationships discovered between variables, as when quantitative and qualitative methods are compared to see if they converge on a single interpretation of a phenomenon. 3. Drawbacks of mixed method studies. Disadvantages of mixed methods research involve the time, resources, and expertise necessary to conduct this type of research well. With regard to expertise, if the researcher is not proficient in both quantitative and qualitative methods, it is possible to team up with others who have expertise in the methods that the researcher is lacking. 4. A brief history. Mixed methods research first came into play in the 1950s when some initial interest developed in using more than one research method in a single study. Campbell and Fisk advocated measuring traits with multiple measures, so that it was possible to separate variance due to the trait from variance due to the method used to measure the trait. Denzin and Jick both have been credited with applying the term triangulation to research methods. Triangulation involves using different methods and/or types of data to study the same research question. Quantitative methods are usually associated with positivism. Qualitative methods are usually associated with postmodernism. Mixed methods are usually associated with pragmatism. Pragmatists believe that one should use whatever methods best answer the research question or questions at hand. V. Types of mixed methods designs. A. The exploratory design. The exploratory design involves first conducting a qualitative study to discover important variables underlying a phenomenon and then conducting a quantitative study to discover relationships among the variables. This type of design is often used to develop rating scales in a new area of study. B. The explanatory design. The explanatory design involves first conducting a quantitative study and then conducting a qualitative study to expand upon the results of the quantitative study. C. The triangulation design. The triangulation design involves conducting both a qualitative study and a quantitative study, usually concurrently, and determining whether the results of the two studies converge on a single understanding of the underlying phenomenon. If the results do not converge, reasons for the lack of convergence need to be explored. 6. Other mixed methods research design issues. All three of the mixed methods designs may be conducted with an advocacy lens. An advocacy lens is present when the researcher's worldview involves advocating for the improvement of conditions of the participants involved in the study. The text discusses the major mixed methods designs as if there were no advocacy lens present. However, Each design can be approached with an explicit advocacy lens. Qualitative researchers typically use purposive sampling, wherein researchers intentionally select participants who are informed about or have experience with the central concept, being investigated. Accordingly, researchers must make a number of decisions with regard to sampling before beginning a mixed method study, such as the relative size of the two samples involved, whether they are to include the same participants, whether one sample is to be subsumed within the other, or whether the participants should be completely different for the two samples. Tashikori and Tedlai define mixed model studies as those that combine the qualitative and quantitative approaches within several different phases of the research process. In mixed model studies, the quantitative and qualitative approach to research may be addressed during each of three phases of the research process. The type of investigation: confirmatory typically quantitative versus exploratory typically qualitative. Quantitative data collection and operations versus qualitative data collection and operations. Statistical analysis and inference versus qualitative analysis and inference. 7. Steps in conducting a mixed method study. Develop a clear rationale for the need for mixed methods in the proposed project. Develop research questions that involve both the qualitative and quantitative portions of the study. Although a general research question may have led to the proposed project, sub-questions that involve both qualitative and quantitative issues help show why mixed methods are appropriate. These sub-questions also help guide data analysis. Before conducting a mixed method study, one should decide if he or she has the time, resources, and expertise necessary to actually carry out the proposed project, and then decide which mixed methods research design applies to the proposed project. Triangulation designs often involve the conversion of one type of data into the other type. The conversion of qualitative data into quantitative data is referred to as quantitizing, while the conversion of quantitative data into qualitative data is referred to as qualitizing. The results of a mixed method study should be written up in a manner consistent with the research design selected. 8. Evaluating a mixed method study. The individual quantitative and qualitative methods used should be evaluated according to the criteria specific to these methods. One should check that both quantitative and qualitative data played a role in the conclusions, otherwise, one of the data types may simply be an add-on. Possible threats to the internal validity and/or credibility as well as the external validity or transferability of the study should always be considered. Ask oneself about the generalizability, as quantitative researchers refer to it, or transferability, as qualitative researchers refer to it, of the results. The answers to these questions are essential because a study without generalizability, external validity, or transferability is of little interest to anyone other than the study's author. 9. Ethics in mixed methods research. The basic ethical concerns of protecting participant identity, treating participants with respect, and protecting participants from both physical and psychological harm apply to mixed method studies as they do to other types of research. Summary. In sum, it is apparent that mixed method studies are becoming increasingly common in educational research. 11. An example of mixed methods research. In the remainder of this chapter is presented a published example of mixed methods research, followed by a critique of its strengths and weaknesses. 12. Analysis of the study. A. Purpose. The purpose is clearly stated to study why college students major in science and to describe their pre-college preparation related to this choice. B. Justification/prior research. The study justification largely that more science majors are needed is contained in the review of prior research that appears to be comprehensive. C. Definitions. Definitions are not provided but the important terms seem sufficiently clear in context. D. Sample. The convenience sample is comprised of 236 students at several colleges in the Northeast U.S., though all but 46 were from a small, private liberal arts college or a mid-sized private technical college. E. Hypotheses. No hypotheses are stated. F. Instrumentation. The development of the survey is described in good detail, as is the final form. G. Procedures. A triangulation design was used with both quantitative and qualitative information used to address the purpose and with both obtained with one survey. H. Data analysis/interpretation of results. Both quantitative and qualitative data were appropriately analyzed using well-known procedures. I. Conclusion/internal validity. This study is a good example of mixed methods research when providing potentially useful suggestions for encouraging students to major in science.